The courtroom was silent, except for the crisp tapping of the judge's gavel. All eyes were on the man standing at the defendant's table, his tailored suit gleaming under the harsh fluorescent lights. He smirked, confident in his power, in his wealth, in the untouchable fortress that money had built around him. "You really expect me to take this seriously?" He sneered at the man across the room, a single dad with calloused hands, tired eyes, and a quiet dignity that made him look small in the vast room. The billionaire's words hit like a punch, meant to humiliate. But what happened next would leave everyone in that courtroom speechless. Jake Thompson had served his country for 10 years. He'd been a soldier, a protector, a man who had faced danger without question, yet here he was, fighting a different kind of battle. After returning from deployment, he had struggled to find steady work while raising his young daughter, Lily, alone. Life hadn't been kind. Jake had a stubborn pride. He refused to let his daughter grow up feeling anything less than safe, loved, and worthy. The lawsuit that brought him to this courtroom was the final battle of an uphill war. The case seemed insurmountable. The billionaire, Victor Langston, was a man used to crushing opposition. He had built a corporate empire on aggressive acquisitions and relentless ambition, never once looking back at the people he stepped on to climb higher. His lawyers had meticulously prepared to paint Jake as a desperate, struggling father who had no ground to stand on. When Victor leaned forward, mocking Jake's worn jacket and tired shoes, the courtroom tensed. It wasn't just arrogance, it was cruelty. But Jake had something money could never buy: truth and unwavering courage. He began to speak, his voice steady but raw with emotion. He told the story of his service, of nights in foreign lands where survival was uncertain and loyalty was everything. He spoke of his daughter, Lily, who had watched him come home scarred and weary yet had never doubted his love for her. And then he spoke of Victor, of how one of Victor's companies had destroyed the small local business Jake had painstakingly rebuilt after coming home, leaving him with nothing, threatening his daughter's future, and breaking the community he had vowed to protect. As Jake spoke, the courtroom shifted. People saw more than a man in worn clothes. They saw a hero, a father, a man who had faced real battles. The arrogance in Victor's smirk faltered as Jake detailed not only the financial damages, but the human cost, the lives affected, the dreams shattered. Victor tried to interrupt, tried to mock again, but Jake's words hit harder than any lawyer's strategy. The tension was palpable when Jake laid down the evidence: emails showing Victor's executives deliberately sabotaging Jake's business, testimony from employees whose jobs were lost, and even letters from community members who had come to depend on Jake's dedication. The billionaire's power, once seemingly untouchable, began to crumble under the weight of truth. And then came the moment that left everyone silent. Jake paused, looked directly at Victor, and said, "You might have money, and you might have influence. You'll never understand what it means to fight for someone who truly depends on you. My daughter doesn't care about your wealth. She cares about love, honesty, and doing the right thing. You've never had to fight for that, have you?" For a heartbeat, the arrogance was gone. Victor's face hardened, then flickered with something like doubt, or maybe recognition. The judge leaned forward, eyes locked on the billionaire, and delivered the verdict. The court ruled in favor of Jake, ordering Victor's company to compensate him and restore the community projects they had destroyed. But more than that, it was a moral victory, a reminder that courage, integrity, and love can topple even the most fortified towers of arrogance. Outside the courtroom, Jake held Lily close. She wrapped her small arms around his waist, whispering, "We did it, Dad." And for the first time in years, Jake felt truly free, not because of money or recognition, but because he had stood for what mattered, defended those who depended on him, and proven that character outweighed wealth. Victor walked away that day, richer than ever, yet defeated in the one place that truly mattered: his humanity. Meanwhile, Jake returned to the small house he had worked tirelessly to maintain, a little battered but unbroken, ready to build a future where his daughter could grow up, knowing that courage, love, and integrity always matter more than arrogance and money. And the courtroom story became a legend in the town, a reminder that true strength is measured not by what you have but by what you protect. And sometimes, the smallest, Most determined people can achieve the most remarkable victories.